Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of London Clubs Carnage. No Tobes today. Again, last week he was in Kenya. Do you know what I'm saying? Doing a mad Mazzolini with the Lions and that. And now this week he's got food poisoning. Mad food poisoning. We heard him there on the VN, and it's bleak. We were, this is not the one to miss because we're gonna be going into Tottenham early doors. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna be getting stuck in. You know what I mean? It's gonna be peak because that performance is one thing, that result is another, especially with the decisions. So we'll be getting into that because I've been hard done by Tottenham already this season, way back when. So under Tuchel. But Potts, how you doing, brother? Talk to me. How you feeling?
I'm okay, man. I'm a bit delicate. I can't lie. I've done my backing, so I don't quite know.
Everyone's breaking down.
I know everyone's breaking down, but at least
you got a bellyache. Is that what it is? Yeah, you got a bellyache.
No. This isn't like your dodgy guts, mate. This is about me trying to be comfy. Do you know what I'm saying? Lawless bowed out last week because he had a bit of gut ache. Do you know what I mean?
Gut ache. I fucking tore a muscle, and he went on his fucking show and said, "Oh, he's got a bellyache."
Don't believe it.
So we got one with food poisoning. You've got a bad back. You got a tummy ache, Lawless, is it?
It's a torn muscle in my abdomen.
No, I don't believe it, Matisse. I don't believe it. I think
everyone's pulling up with injuries. What is it? Too many games this season?
Yes, it is. It's getting to that point now where it's just the fixture pile up is mad.
Fixture pile up is KOing everybody, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna give Lawless any stick actually, because he must be happy now. David Moyes has proved him wrong, and he's going to stay. He's the guy to lead him out of relegation and to the final of the Conference League. So Lawless must be positive.
I think we should give Tobe stick for bottling it because he was sitting there after the Newcastle game. Oh my God, I can't wait to cook you next week. You're going to get this, you're going to get that. We win, and he's like, oh, Matisse, I'm ill. I can't come on. Yeah, after he's seen how his team cheated. And my team won, and he had nothing to say. He was going to get the cooking.
I think it's funny.
Can we just rip Tottenham a bit because it was fucking shambolic.
It was funny also. Last week, Lawless talk about fixture congestion was trying to sneak in an extra show because obviously Lampard was hired, and then hours later I asked him, "Do you still want to do the show?" And he was like, "Do you know what? It's cool. I think West Ham have taken an absolute beating from Newcastle or something along those lines." Is that
never use those words?
Yeah, I'm just paraphrasing, but that something like that, right? I don't know. Maybe if you want to still reflect on last week, we can.
We got to talk about. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Lampard because he's still your manager, and there was a result there to be spoke about, and there has been a revelation about how Lampard came to be hired. Which
stop it. We don't promote the Sun.
I've not heard this.
And the Daily Mail leaks and reports. Your credibility is in the mud. You need to stick to the tried and tested. All right. You need to stick to the real reports, not the James Gordon, James Corden, West Ham fan.
Oh no, I didn't hear about this. That's not true, right?
So of course it's not. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. But this guy is shameless.
Hey, listen. It went from the Roman Empire to Boehly's banter era. That's what we're in now. Boehly's banter era. He's consulting with chat show hosts about who should be the next manager. Because, he's English and I know him from American TV. So let me ask him. He'll know.
Makes sense.
He's a football fan.
Yeah, makes sense.
I love it.
Christopher Vavell is there. Paul Winston.
There's no smoke without fire, though. There has to be something there. There has to be.
Sometimes there is smoke without fire. Sometimes it's just a little bit of smoke, and that's it. There's no fire anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
imagine if that's actually true, and he's rung up. All right, James, who do you reckon should get the job?
I mean, listen, Potts. Boehly is an absolute madman.
Oh, would you put it past nutcase? No, I wouldn't. Yeah. I can't stand him, and it's hilarious. Like the amount of Chelsea fans that I still see on social media that love this guy and thinks, he's going to take us to the top. What evidence is there that he's going to take him back to the top? The guy's a nutcase. I just can't believe they've hired Lampard, man. It's absolutely. They're lucky they're not closer to the relegation zone. I'm not even bantering. Still not got 40 points, Matisse. Still not got the big 4-0.
Still not got 40 points. Still on 39. Crystal Palace are closing in. Roy's boys behind us in 12th. West Ham, who knows? Maybe West Ham will be next. Who knows?
Yeah, we're only actually 3 places off of you, to be honest. Only 9 points behind you. So listen, all right, I can take it from you. Just can't banter me too hard, Matisse. Really and truly.
You're right.
Because you're in the mud as well.
You're right. That's very true. I am firmly planted.
And
immersed
I think
in the mud.
We will decide by the end of the show who is more in the mud. I've got my arguments. I know that.
Well, out of you two or Tobes as well?
No, it's particularly right now, me and Matisse, like whose team is more in the mud.
Yeah,
the way I thought you were bringing Tobes into it. The way you said it.
Tobes and Tottenham have got away with one this weekend. I can't lie. I mean,
big time.
I've just seen some of the incidences again, but properly now before we started the show, and I can see why the Brighton fans are in an uproar. I mean, that Matoma one in particular, it's just a clear penalty. And did they not go and check that and then still decide it wasn't? Was that because they had VAR, of course.
Nothing was checked. Was nothing checked with that Matoma one? It wasn't, was it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's a blatant penalty. It's whether you check it or not, like you should be coming to that conclusion. And if it's not checked, why isn't it checked? And if it is checked, well, why isn't it given a penalty? But we showed you that comp, Matisse, and it was just not even just that. It was all over the pitch, everywhere. Just bad decisions. Shirt pulls in the box by Spurs players. Spurs players diving, 2-foot tackles going in. Honestly, such a dirty team, such a dirty team of cheats. And I know if Toes will be, oh yeah, from a West Ham fan, we don't, say whatever you want from us about us, but we don't cheat. Okay, we had that moment that went against us, that went for us, the handball save against Chelsea, but we didn't particularly go out and do that to cheat. It happened. And we didn't get penalized. But these players are diving. Harry Kane, Golden Boy Kane, is going out and he's taking a little flick to the foot and going right down holding his knee like an embarrassing cheat, like that one against Everton as well. That was embarrassing. I can't stand it.
Richarlison did that to Ramsdale. Ramsdale just looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" Next minute, Kane, he's rolling around on the floor. I think even Sean Dyche took the piss and said, I think he might have busted his eyelash.
Yeah. Honestly, I really wanted Tobes to answer for this guy. I really want him to come on and answer for his embarrassing striker.
Well, he won't be a striker for much longer because I'm sure he'll be gone in the summer, isn't it? But it's a shame for Brighton because, I mean, we've got Brighton next and I'm more than convinced that they're most likely going to pass us off the park and do us over at Stamford Bridge because they play some really good stuff and they deserve something out of that game. And they are and have been knocking on the door for those European places. And they could have done with some points there. But again, this is video assistance referee.
It could cost them Europa League football, which is massive for them.
But we know already the standard of refereeing in this country is not fit for purpose. You talk about having the best league in the world and you're going to have a game like that. Did they come out and apologize for that refereeing performance?
Yeah, they did. Howard Webb on behalf of the PGMOL.
Yeah, that makes you all right then. That's fine now.
Yeah, exactly.
What 3 points for Brighton that is. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. What your apology is going to do.
It's like when they came out and said, yeah, sorry, we forgot to draw the lines on against Arsenal, Brentford. We'll sack him. Oh, brilliant. That could lose us the title. Do you know what I mean? It's just shambles. It doesn't give the Brighton or Arsenal or all these teams that are getting mugged off anything more than, apologies, we're crap. Do you know what I mean?
Apologies don't work if you keep fucking up. If you keep doing it and you just go, sorry, do you know what I mean? It don't. if you've got your neighbor and you're driving your car and you pull out and every time you pull out, you scrape his car and you go, sorry, and you just keep doing it every day. Sorry. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just meaningless. They could just say it.
Has this ever happened to you?
No, I don't drive. To be honest. You don't need to drive in London. You don't.
That felt way too close to home. That analogy. It was perfect.
I was trying to pull one off the top of my head that people could relate to.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's spot on. It's true. Like the words are becoming empty. In fact, the words are already empty. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to fix it, apart from maybe, employ more referees from around the world and not focus so much on just a, talent pool of England or UK. But the standard is awful. I mean, even in the Liverpool game, there was a little bit of an elbow, it seemed, to Robertson. I don't know what happened there, but it seemed like as if he got a little bit of a check-in from the referee. I mean, we're going to get to a point where referees are literally slam dunking players, and WWE wrestling style Monday Night Raw.
I think he'll be all right with that, and I'll tell you why. Because there's so much in his favour at the moment with what happened with the Mitrovic against the ref. Also, Robertson, he could just say Robertson came from behind me screaming in my face, and I felt like he was going to do what Mitrovic did to the ref. So my natural reaction was to self-defense. He could say anything and get away with it. I really do. I think that he'll be all right. So something's got to happen. You can't do that, man. I know it was bad. Robertson is like Roy Keane said, he is a baby. He's crying all the time, but actually, you can't lash out, man, and he has. So I think he might get done for it, but he could have a defense to say, this is the reasons why I felt threatened, and these are the reasons why I did what I did. But we'll have to see what happens, won't we?
Feels like we're dealing with the police here. I'm not going to lie. They keep making mistakes. Things keep going wrong, keep going left, errors, and then
no punishment.
No punishment. Just keep it.
Just
moving.
Say sorry and it happened, and keep
hide the documents.
Yeah.
Put the files in the bin, and we keep it moving. It's just
it's funny. Did you see
no accountability whatsoever?
Did you see Maz on the group Lawless on earlier saying, "I was standing at the train station and two people have stood on my foot, and the police saw it and did nothing about it." I thought that's quite funny. I was like, "Yeah, he's a Brighton fan." Sorry for those that don't know Maz. And he's like, "It's basically Matoma." Nothing happens. It was so obvious, that one. For me, there was a lot in that game, but the Matoma one, how is that not a penalty? Like, come on, it's mad. It's actually
but it's crazy because, and you mentioned this part. Something a lot of people are saying is that Stellini got sent off, and now they're going to
for failing to be able to control his staff.
That's banter. That is banter.
So now Ryan Mason is going to take the next
one up. It just continues to it's like getting called up to the England squad. It's just all right. Someone's gone down injured. We call up somebody else, and we just keep going until we get down to the physio.
They need a caretaker manager for the caretaker manager.
So is Stellini banned for what? 3 games?
Is it just one they get banned
maybe
for?
Just one. I mean, he didn't actually do anything. I think they banned him for failing to control his staff.
He's just standing there like,
he's just standing there watching.
Like...
I've never heard of that. Where
I've
heard of clubs. I've heard of clubs getting fined because they failed to control their players, and it's like a group collective, fine.
How is it his fault that his staff have all gone nuts?
Can you not send off the coaches? Can you not do that? Are they not part of the?
I don't know.
Guess not, isn't it? I guess
but didn't Deserbi get sent off as well?
Yeah, he did.
They both did. But it was before the game. They had a massive go at each other, didn't they? Because Stellini's made some comments about Deserbi or something like that in terms
saying that more credit needs to be given to Potter for how Brighton are doing at the moment, or something like that.
Was that right? Okay, so that's what it is. Well, I actually really disagree with that statement. I think Deserbi.
Well, now after what happened with Potter this season, his stocks are not exactly at the highest, are they? No. Deserbi's not going to take kindly to that comment.
Tottenham are shit, though. They are shit, massively shit, and it's beautiful to see. And they cheated a victory, but cheaters never prosper in the long run. And they can't keep cheating their way to victory week in, week out. That's not sustainable. Just like we told them that scraping these crap wins earlier in the season wasn't sustainable. That won't be sustainable. They're not getting top 4. Is there anyone here think they're getting top 4?
No, I don't have them in there. No, I took them.
I know Rashford is injured though, which is big. Man United missing Rashford probably for the rest of the season. So. It depends if...
I think the top 4 as he is. I honestly do.
No, I think it just depends how much if Man United spiral out massively from having Rashford injured. But could you imagine
a sneaky Aston Villa?
That's what I was about to say.
Brighton and Newcastle either. That'd be all right.
Can you imagine?
Villa were 6 points off of
Tottenham. Yeah. Aston Villa. This is why now I just sit here and I think to myself. We basically wrote the season off. We were like, do you know what? There's nothing more to play for. It's done. We're too shit. We can't recover. We can't reclaim any sort of, standard position. We really could have. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're seeing Aston Villa, who were 11th for ages. It only overtook us when they beat us at the bridge, and now they're flying.
Do you know how much toes will be in the mud if Villa finish above them? Because we did a show on a guy Loaded Mag Pete channel, Newcastle channel, and we had Arswed and Villa fan, all of this, right? And people was doing the usual. It was about a Battleground Europe. It was called, well, why is a West Ham fan on here? And I said rightly, well, you could say the same about Villa fan. And Tobes went in on the Villa fan. He was like, they're not even in the race for Europe. They're not even in the conversation. Tobes was saying. Tobes went in, and they keep posting the clip. If they finish above Spurs, oh my God, that clip is going to be famous.
No, they're fourth since Unai Emery's taken over. They're fourth in the form table.
Yeah, I think they're the third most informed team in recent weeks as well, because they're on a 5-game winning run. I think, are they not? They're in really good form. Really good form.
Good manager,
Emery, man.
Good manager.
Arsenal fans
Newcastle won 5 in a row.
Newcastle
four. So these are the most informed teams now. It's 4 in a row for City. Sorry, 5 in a row for City, 5 in a row for Newcastle, 4 out of the last 5 for Arsenal and a draw, 4 out of the last 5 for Aston Villa and a draw. So those are the 4 teams.
What's your form? What's Chelsea's form?
What's your form?
I was gonna say
better than yours. Better than yours, funnily enough. It's actually better than Chelsea's. So
probably isn't it?
It is. I just saw it. Actually, in the last 5 games, actually, they got 2 wins out of the last 5. We've got 1.
Yeah, there you go. Go. Yeah, Jesus. Sit down.
I am sitting down, mate.
Lower your chair. Like, just.
Goodness. Yeah. So that really is the case. But so nobody here thinks Tottenham's getting it. That's that for 50. They're on 53 points.
I actually think they have more chance of getting it with Conte. I don't think
they played a game more than Newcastle and United, 3 points behind both of them.
I thought Harry Kane might have allowed them to have a chance, and I put him in my top 4 a couple of weeks back. But I don't think Newcastle.
That Rashford injury could be huge. Obviously, Casemiro's coming back for United, but that I don't know how long.
Is he a bad one? Then
I don't know. I don't know where.
Newcastle's game in hand is Everton away. Which
I don't trust Lawless with his sources about Rashford, because it could be the Sun or the Mail or some foolishness.
Listen, it's
did you go on Reddit? If Reddit becomes one of your sources, I'm done. Honestly,
you just look at this, because it's a story that you don't like.
No, because you just come with the most fugazi sources ever.
No, I just saw it doing the rounds on Twitter and was like, boy, like
you'll be coming with like, oh, look at this story. Indiana Jones News is reporting that, Chelsea is. I'm just like, bruv, where's your standards? Your quality. Where's your quality control?
Sorry, where's your quality control when it's anti-West Ham stories and you're throwing shit? I mean, I'm like, you talk about my sources. Look at the sources that you're flipping quoting, and I have to throw that back to you.
Example.
I'm trying to see. So it looks like Man United's game in hand is Spurs, but that can't be right, surely, because then Spurs would have an extra game. Or Spurs.
As much as I want Man United to drop out, I can't see it happening.
No, they have a lot to focus on, Man United, though, in terms of other competitions. I do think they're going to make it, but somebody's going home unhappy anyway, because I think Newcastle look like they're going to handle it. They've only lost 3 games this season. Newcastle, 21 goals conceded, best defense in the league by a comfortable margin of 8 goals. Sorry, 6 goals. 6 goals to City. So
we need it to be Spurs. Mr. You Must has to not get top 4, because that, oh my God.
No top 4, no trophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lawless, would you rather, right? This is a question just for Lawless, because I know Matisse. No. Now, this is a real question. Would you rather have Brentford or Brighton or Villa finish in the Conference League, or would you rather it be Spurs or Chelsea?
Nah, Spurs or Chelsea, easily Spurs or Chelsea. I mean, I want them to. All of these clubs would love it,
because I kind of want them to for their own, because they ain't been in Europe for years.
Yeah, they deserve it, man. Like
no,
Liverpool,
they deserve it. They deserve it. Give it to one of them.
Liverpool. I'd love nothing. Listen, we're mudded, right? We're 11th. We're gonna get onto us in a minute as well. Man United to fall out, Tottenham to fall away, Aston Villa to get top 4, or Brighton to get it. And then one of those other, and then whoever doesn't get it gets Europa. and Liverpool, United, Tottenham, just none of them make Champions League. It would be brilliant.
Unless
would be
Chelsea,
brilliant.
unless Frank gets Chelsea on a bit of a mad run.
Are you
they
silly?
Ain't getting 7th.
Bro, we ain't going on no run, bro.
Right? I think Liverpool will get conference this season.
Let's talk about Liverpool, right? Because they took some points off our beloved Arsenal this weekend.
You get bumped early up in the card this week, Potts. Now,
thankfully,
Yeah, now this is the first time I've been on this channel when I talked about first. What's going on?
At long last, Arsenal have finally been stopped a little bit, or at least put on pause. The sharks are swimming behind them. Red blood is in the sea, and the blue sharks from the Etihad are smelling. They're smelling and they're sniffing and they're coming. Hopefully, this is what we're looking for. But Liverpool, a comeback 2-0. You're 2-0 up, and then you guys in the end couldn't hold out. I'm gonna be honest. City, they've only won the league once by winning at Anfield. I think most of the other times it's usually a draw or even a defeat. So it's not really the worst point in the world. Before the game, a lot of people would have taken it. I think the way the game panned out, now it's maybe a little bit more frustrating. But how did you feel about that game?
Point.
Yeah, I was a bit the latter. I think so. Like a draw at Anfield, you can't sit and say is a shocking result. But when you're 2-0 up, it's really frustrating to take. I felt like we were lucky actually to take a point. If it wasn't for Ramsdale, who, by the way, I don't get the hatred from the neutral fans. The guy is ridiculously good. I'm sorry, he is. And he don't get it because for whatever reason, people don't like the fact that he's got a bit of character and he's got a bit of shithousery about him. I get that. The guy's an absolutely superb goalkeeper. I don't care what anybody says.
Better than Lloris?
Well, he's definitely better than Lloris. I can't believe people were putting Lloris ahead of this guy. It's actually embarrassing. Like maybe Lloris when he was 23 would have had a chance of being spoken about, but the guy's dusted compared to Ramsdale. Like I can understand people talking about Alisson and Ederson ahead of him. I'm calm with that. But other than that, I don't think there's a goalkeeper better than him in the Premier League. Definitely should be England's number one. I mean, shocking that Southgate picks Pickford still, but there we go. That's another story. I suppose he hasn't let Southgate down. But for me, we're talking about world-class saves yet again from a guy who in 2 seasons in an Arsenal shirt has made 7 or 8. And I can think of goalkeepers in Arsenal shirts such as David Seaman, Jens Lehmann, Alex Meninga, the other goalkeepers we've had that have all made about 7 world-class saves in their career. This guy's made them in 2 years, man.
Is he world-class?
No, I don't think he is world-class yet because he's still young, but I do think he's a class goalkeeper that has potential to be. I really rate the kid.
Wait, you said the best goalkeeper in the league?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that.
What did you say about
you weren't listening again? Because like you will never do, like you never want to do. You only listen to the bits that matter. The only bits that matter you listen to. I said I can understand why Ederson and Alisson are ahead of him, but I believe after that he's the best goalkeeper. After those two, because those two have been there and done it. So he's the third best in the league for me. I can debate if you want with Nick Pope and with Martinez and with all these goalkeepers if you really want to. But for me, he is. And I think he's proven that in the last 2 seasons. Clean sheets are there. The world-class saves are there. The command of his area is there. I don't really see that he's not a modern-day goalkeeper in terms of his distribution and the way that he is with his feet. There's times where he's a little bit cocky and I think that lets him down, but I'm hoping that will grow out of it when he matures because he's only 24. But I think with Aaron Ramsdale right now, we're talking about a goalkeeper that has been on fire. And yesterday, I don't care if you hate him, love him, or think he's okay. He was outstanding, and he's the reason we're walking away with a point. So I am disappointed that it's only 1 point, but you do still have to look at it. You can't say... I kind of looked at with Turkish yesterday. We were chatting about it. Is it 2 points dropped? And I think we were so deflated that we thought it was. But actually, it's probably a point gained because you can't say Ramsdale was superb and then say it was 2 points dropped because
and Liverpool deserved minimum a draw. Probably deserved to win.
They annihilated us second half, in my opinion. I thought it was really thing. And I wanted to bring up an incident. Get your guys' point on this, right? Views on this. The Granit Xhaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold incident seemed to change the game. And I don't know whether that's why the reasons as to why Liverpool took points off of us, because there's more than just that reason. But it is quite interesting that last season we were doing okay against Liverpool until Arteta threw his strop on the line with Klopp. And then it got the crowd up and then boom, they battered us. And it seemed again that we were absolute. I mean, I couldn't.
You were in complete control.
But Matisse, I couldn't hear because I was doing the watch along. I couldn't hear what the crowd was like. Was it dead? Was it
silent?
flat?
It was dead.
There we go.
Apparently, I was doing a
dead,
watch along
right?
as well, but apparently
Okay.
it was dead. It was a dead
So
crowd. Liverpool
Anfield
fans I've
was
spoken
dead,
to,
right?
Anfield was dead, and first half an hour, you guys, you floored them. You know, you played through them. They tried to press you. They got exposed. Robertson's doing the splits. Van Dijk is giving assists, not marking Jesus for the second goal. They're all over the place. And I was sitting there watching it at 2-0 thinking, do you know what? This is over. Like, forget it, Liverpool. I asked for your help. I've tried my best here to stick with you, but you're not. I didn't even feel like you guys were even at your best in the first 30. I just think they were just handing it to you. They were just making it so easy. So you guys are 2-0 up. The game's kind of flat, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is done. This is game over. They're gonna. I thought you guys are gonna go and get a third and just wrap it up and walk out. Because
so
I was
agree
thinking
that incident made it.
That incident changed everything. Because
yeah, there you go.
Like Liverpool were never gonna outplay Arsenal, I don't think, from a footballing perspective. But once they got the passion and desire attributes going and the traits and started to get the crowd on the back of the Arsenal players, and like I said, I think Trent did that on purpose. It was very clever from him because, what Xhaka did was
picked on the right guy.
He picked on the right guy. Xhaka goes in with the arm on him, and it is something to react to. But Trent definitely eggs it on, milks it even more, and tries to. I think he was willing to take a yellow and hope maybe Xhaka would get a red and do something stupid and do something crazy.
It worked. Right? Whatever. He didn't need the red card.
He didn't. But you see Trent straight after. He's like this, and he's getting the fans up.
And then 30 seconds, Matisse, they scored.
Yeah.
So for me, that was then, that's calmed all of us down, and it's got a crowd row. And then what happened was half time happened, and actually I thought, that might have come at a good time to just quiet things down and get us back in. But they come out flying, and the crowd was with them. And I thought personally it was just one-way traffic, if I'm honest with you. I mean, we did have opportunities. You know, Tierney maybe could have done better. Gabriel had a header, went straight to Alisson. And then the saves at the end from Ramsdale, for us to go on a break, that's going to haunt me forever.
Martinelli.
It's going to haunt me forever, man. Martinelli just needs to find that pass. He's got Trossard or Saka, and he's overhit it. And it just weren't meant to be.
If you don't win the league, everyone will go back and look at that moment. Because if you don't win the league,
no, they're going to go back to the Brentford offside line. I'm telling you,
there'll be quite a few moments.
They'll talk about how they were robbed, not how they were, agents of their own downfall.
No, that's not true. I don't. Well, some of them will. I won't. If we don't win the league, I won't look at Anfield. I won't look at if we lose at the Etihad. I won't look at Man United at Old Trafford, City at the Emirates. I will look at Everton and Brentford and Southampton and go, come on, we've got to be beating those. And that's what's lost us the league. Likewise, if Man City don't win the league, they won't look at losing to Anfield or losing to Old Trafford. They'll look at dropping points at Nottingham Forest.
But that moment,
Villa and not beating Newcastle. Go on.
I think the game as a whole, the results as a whole, but that moment when you think like if he just squares it, then you know what I mean. You can go on.
Got to do better. When it's 3 against 2, you got to do better, man.
Yeah.
Or 3 against 1.
What about Zinchenko getting spun and then crying on the bench? Did you see him?
Disappointed. He played so well in the first half, but we should have brought him off earlier, man.
The thing is, in the first minute, we saw Trent get destroyed by Martinelli. Right inside 60 seconds, I was like, "This is gonna be a long day." Then later on, Klopp starts to invert him and use him like Zinchenko, tuck him in and get Konate out there, which is what really should have been the case from the get-go. And I said it on 5 last week when I was on there. That I was saying, listen, why have Liverpool not tried to introduce some sort of back three? Why have they not tried to get Trent, inverting like you see Zinchenko, like you see Rico Lewis? We saw Stones. I'm not saying Trent's going to be perfect in this position. He probably needs to work on his range of passing with his left foot. He probably needs to, get back to scanning and being press resistant and being able to carry the ball and, awareness and spatial awareness and all that. Because when you're playing at fullback, the whole pitch is in front of you. You can see everything. You very rarely have to check your shoulder. And as we can see, by his positioning, he still doesn't check his shoulder that well, even playing at fullback, because there's always people running off of him. So to do it in midfield now is even worse. You could become a turnover machine. But he used to play midfield in the academy, and he tucks him in, gets him away from Martinelli. Martinelli's now going up against Konate. It was 3v3 a lot of the time with, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli versus Konate, Robertson, and Van Dijk. That's where the second goal comes from, right? It's a 3v3. So it wasn't perfect, but it meant that Trent wasn't isolated handling that situation that he was always going to get destroyed in. And then on the flip side, you make the changes of Kivior. You bring off Odegaard. I was surprised he didn't take off Saka. And I was saying it to James on Talking Tactics. I was surprised he didn't take off Saka and leave Jesus on and bring Trossard on for Saka, because Jesus just finished doing his wonderful little flicks and tricks, and he was still really pumped and alive, whereas Saka was going a little bit more quiet. But to not take off Zinchenko, he's going to regret it for so long, because we all know Tierney's better than Zinchenko defensively, and if you're going to park it with 5 minutes to go, you may as well park it properly, isn't it?
Yeah, facts. And for how good he was in the first and how bad Trent was in the first, like you say, it's like they switch roles.
Swap places,
mad. Trent was so good in the second, and Zinchenko poor. Got absolutely nuts. You could see it affected him because he was crying on the bench. Do you know what? I've seen Zinchenko cry about 4 times in an Arsenal shirt, and I think when you look back, he's cried about 4 times in a City shirt as well. He's obviously an emotional guy, bless him.
He's the human son, mate.
Yeah. So I feel sorry for him, because it was a poor bit of play, and he really does means a lot to him, and he gives 110%. But I'd have had Tierney on probably 20 minutes like before he did come on, because defensively he's better. If you want somebody on the ball to do what Zinchenko does, there's nobody better in that role. But for me, Kieran Tierney had to come on. The Kivior one was bizarre, man. I can't even lie to you. I was thinking, where's this going? Now, I understand it now, but when he was coming on, I was thinking, this guy's not kicked a ball in a shirt. It's a massive arse for him. You're throwing him on at one of the hardest places to go. And the first thing he did was pretty much take someone out. And then the ball, luckily, for our sake, goes through to Nunez and he misses. It was pretty shambolic from him, but he's tried to shore it up. And he's taken Odegaard out. Odegaard and Saka weren't really in the game. And that's credit to Liverpool. I thought they had 3 or 4 players around them every single time they got the ball. And that's why Martinelli had such a good game, because they kind of allowed him to be free more than the other 2. But he absolutely roasted Trent. That first half hour is one of the best I've seen us play. And I understand Liverpool were poor, but we capitalised on that and we're just so good. It was crazy. And I really thought we were in for a comfortable afternoon when we got to 2-0, but it just weren't meant to be. Liverpool, listen, they've beaten City there. They've beaten Newcastle there. They've beaten Napoli there. They've had some good wins at Anfield so far this season. So, you know,
how the hell did we get a point?
7-0. Yeah, you got a 0-0, and Leeds beat them as well, by the way. 2-1.
They did.
So it's mad to think that. But listen, I will take that point now. I look back at it. I was emotionally drained. I was devastated after it. But I look back and think, yeah, maybe we were a bit lucky, really. Salah missed a penalty.
Yeah.
Ramsdale made world-class saves. We take the point and we move.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, but it's a point gained. When you look back on it, it will be a point gained. If you don't win it from here, it's still under your control. I still believe City are favourites, and I think this only helps that, because now, you know, you already needed to go to the Etihad and get something, but now you really have to get something from the Etihad, because if you don't, you know, it's in their hands. And we know City now are moving a bit crazy.
Which is the one we're going to miss out on, because everyone says City will win it. So what game are we going to lose? That ain't Man City, and it's got, because if we lose to City,
I think Newcastle away is a problem.
Oh yeah.
I remember it last season for you lot, and I can smell it again. I said it on DR today. I get a good feeling about Newcastle. I must say, I think Newcastle
that's the one.
Are a problem.
That's the one that everyone's worried about. But do you know what? I think Brighton at home could be really tricky as well, because Brighton are a very
don't rule out Super Frank's Chelsea steaming Blues.
Well, do you know what? I said Chelsea would be hard, but I actually think Chelsea would be harder to beat under Potter than Lampard. So
if my tricky Blues can go to the Emirates and do something mad,
you better not. You better not. I swear.
That's all I've got in the Premier League. Honestly, is the game of the Emirates. There's nothing else.
But yeah, you're right. You know, because Man City have the game in hand. If they win their game in hand, and beat Arsenal, it's in their hands, because they're
goal difference.
They're ahead on goal difference by 5 goals. You have to imagine that. By the end of the season,
smoke more teams. Yeah,
exactly. They've got Haaland, who's like banging goals in games.
Pep needs to stop taking them off. By the way, let that freak.
No, I can understand it though. Really,
doesn't want him to get injured. I need them to get knocked out to Bayern Munich as well in the Champions League. That's pivotal.
No. Yeah. Listen, if they beat us, they're going to win it, because their goal difference is better than us. Basically, if they beat us,
so that's what I'm saying. You guys, you guys now. If you can't lose it at Etihad, otherwise
we just got to draw. Basically, we beat them or draw, and we'll still have a chance. Then we've got to lose another one. But
they've got 9 games to go. You've got 8. We're it's crunch time now.
Their games are so winnable as well. The games they've got coming up in the league, Leicester. They've got obviously Arsenal, which I'm not saying is winnable, but if they win that at home, that's key. But then they've got Fulham, who haven't got Mitrovic, who we beat, and then they've got us, West Ham at home, Leeds, Everton,
they got
Chelsea,
yeah,
and then Brentford away.
We're gonna roll over for them.
Brighton and Brentford away are the only two they've got.
No, they ain't got Brighton away.
They have. They just got to have it to be confirmed. This game.
Okay. Lampard used to play for them. We're gonna roll over for City. I'm telling you, we don't stand a chance.
No, they'll beat you. It's Brighton and Brentford for me, and everyone keeps saying Everton away. Why? Everton are shocking.
Are you getting nervous now? Like at what point? Because it's been a while since.
Bro, I've been nervous for ages. It's a title race, of course.
I know, but because now it's getting to the Now it's getting.
I'd be shitting myself if it was West Ham up there, and we was like, not saying like West Ham as they are now, but I'm just saying if I was an Arsenal fan, just I know how I am. I can sympathize and put myself in their shoes. You would be
a train wreck.
Yeah, I would. I'd be a bag of nerves. I'd be looking at every. I don't know how you do it, Potts. Right. It must be horrible. Like it's fun, it's great.
It ain't nice, mate. But I never thought we'd be up this place up here, man. And I think that's what people. It's funny because I think I put something in the group earlier. It's as if the season has finished now. Like on social media, it's done. Man, Arsenal, well done, unlucky. It's no good. Come on, man. It's in Manchester City's hands. It's also in Arsenal's hands, but no one says that because all they believe is the Man City are going to win it. Listen, they might do. Yeah. Of course, they're unbelievably good. We're not up against like Millwall.
It's now in both your hands, literally.
Of course, it's in Arsenal's hands. It's in City's hands. The Etihad, I never said it would come down to. It looks like it might now. It looks like it might, and you know, I don't think Arsenal and Man City, apart from the game obviously where they play each other, I don't think either side will win all their fixtures.
Would you go there and play a low block, try and nick a point? Would you go for the point, or would you try and like go all out?
I would, but Arteta won't. Arteta doesn't know how to come with a low block, really, does he? So
well, he did at the start. I remember when he first took over, and that's how he was beating. Like
yeah, true. But I don't know if we're set up to do that now. I think we're set up in a different way. And I do think that we'll go for it. I've said for quite a long time, and we couldn't overcome it again yesterday. If you can't see out a game, then we have got an issue if we're going for a title. And we couldn't see out the 3 points. Now, the other thing is if you can't win a game, don't lose it. That's cool. But I'm not so sure we thank Arteta for not losing that game. I think we thank Ramsdale, if I'm honest. Yeah. So I feel like he still needs to learn that. And I think we're going to need it more than ever against Man City, the Etihad. All I'll say is this. We have not played. We've played Manchester City twice and lost twice. But we had Holding, we had Jorginho, and we had Eddie. If we change that to Saliba, Partey, and Jesus, maybe it's a different Arsenal against Man City this time.
It's going to be interesting because it's going to be fine margins. I don't look at that Liverpool game and think, "Oh, Arteta, what have you done?" He was about to bring on Tierney. The ball didn't go out of play when he needed it to. Trent nutmegs Zinchenko, and the rest is history. But I think Zinchenko also needs to keep his calm and his nerve because he's one of the most experienced players in that Arsenal team. I've given a lot of credit to Zinchenko this season. I think he's been outstanding. However, he's very, very emotional. I saw it against Sporting and he did the big huddle. He didn't really call for calm. He kind of called for, there's a lot of shouting. There was a lot of, anger. And I feel like he's a very emotional guy. He was obviously on the bench, really upset.
Young team as well, Matisse. Yeah, I don't think they know what calm is. They're so excitable. They're so young.
He's one of those ones that don't bring any calm. Jorginho does. Jorginho does bring calm. Jorginho does bring calm, but Jorginho is not starting. He's not on the pitch when all of these madnesses are happening. So, yeah, it's gonna be.
Do you miss Jorginho? Do you need Jorginho on the pitch right now?
Bro, we're finished regardless. With or without Jorginho, we're finished, bro. Please. No, there's no one individual that can change what's going on. We were finished with him. We're finished without him. We're finished entirely.
Lewis was disappointed, on my show. He was saying, I'm actually disappointed we've given our only holding midfielder to Arsenal.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't do well for squad balance. His contract was running out and, their logic was we need to get some money in for him. FFP wise, of course, we know we need to make sales in the summer. we will. I'm not too worried about that because we've got a lot of sellable assets. But yeah, you'd love to say we're going to keep Jorginho and have a bit of balance until the end of the season. But we were bringing in Enzo. We've got way too many midfielders as it is. Somebody needed to leave. Gallagher didn't want to go to Everton for 45 million, which pains me to this day because that's an incredible offer that, you know, if Newcastle had slumped it up, he would have been in the Northeast by now. We needed to get rid of someone, and Jorginho was the one that was ready to go and had the offer come in. So, you know, football, as much as we would love to, in hindsight or at the time, say, you know, keep him, we have to get rid of. Look how many players we've got. We got squads every week. There's players missing. Senior players are not making the squad. We needed to get rid of someone. We couldn't keep him, and no Chelsea fan's going to tell me we should have not got Enzo, because Enzo's a quality player. I'm still glad we got him. Because otherwise he would have been playing for Real Madrid in the summer or someone else.
I think next season you're going to change your tune on a lot of things, Chelsea, because it's interesting. Like me, Potts, Spurs, at one time or another, we've been owners out, board out, right? Chelsea, you've never had to have that. And I think you're going to be Boehly out eventually. I'm seeing the signs. I'm seeing the things that he's doing, the moves he's making. I think either next season or season after, you're going to be Boehly out. And it's going to be beautiful to see because Chelsea fans have never been in this territory before, you know, protesting against owners and this, that, and the other. I mean,
I actually agree with Lawless. I can't understand this guy. Like, the money's great, but has he actually got a clue what he's doing? When I've seen the hiring of Potter, the players that have been brought in, and then the hiring of Lampard, it's like, wow.
Sacked Tuchel, paid him off. Yeah, and now who's now managing at Bayern Munich, brought in Potter from Brighton, which is mid-season, big step up for him to make, you know, and then sack him after he's on the long term
and pay him off,
and then bring back Lampard, who's just been sacked from Everton this season after, you know, nosediving with them. You had Tuchel.
Well, listen. I could shout and scream, but it would be delayed reaction, right? How delayed would that be? Because at the end of the day, we should never have just got rid of Tuchel so abruptly. Even if Tuchel needed to go at some point because the working relationship wasn't there, should have at least waited, hired the sporting director first, make sure that that's all in place, there's structure. See if that now your working relationship does improve with Tuchel when you don't have to go direct contact line through WhatsApp for Ronaldo messages. Let the sporting director and the in-betweens work with the manager and relay to you what he needs and what he wants and what the future is going to be. Maybe that would have improved your working relationship and you would have had an elite manager who cares about the club, who is a great tactician, etc. And funnily enough, they say he couldn't coach an attack. We have not been attacking since he left. Not been scoring goals since he left. You know, they said, "Oh, we need to move away from the back three, and we need to get more attackers on the pitch." We tried that. We're back to the back three, and then we went to a 4-3-3 at the weekend, got slapped again. So, you know, clearly the guy is a top manager. Clearly he was too good for West Ham, which I tried to explain to Lawless many times. And clearly now he's at Bayern Munich. You know, he's going to be going for a domestic and a Champions League.
Chelsea.
Well, you know, he's not too good for Chelsea because Chelsea have world-class managers and world-class status.
Yeah. World-class manager, Frank Lampard.
But Lampard. Now we're back to square one with Lampard, which is meant to be vibes. Wasn't great vibes on the weekend, I have to say. For everybody that kind of like wasn't going to go to Wolves. Then they decided we're going to go to Wolves. I was going to sell my ticket. Now I'm actually going to go because Lampard's in charge. You're going to severely regret that because that performance was one of the worst of the season. And I say that every week because it just continues to always be the worst. Liverpool was horrendous. Southampton was horrendous. You know, every single game is horrendous. And the thing is with Lampard is that, you know, he went back to his 4-3-3. He's now going up against Ancelotti in midweek, Real Madrid.
That's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath. You know, most likely. I hope I'm juju in it, and I'm
looking forward to.
They're going to surprise me, but I feel like we've got an AFTV Bayern Munich moment on our hands. To be honest.
This is going to be an Arsenal bloody Bayern Munich.
It could be a 10-2 in one game, not two.
I'm not looking forward to the game. Like, there's some Chelsea fans that are still trying to be, you know, ridiculously optimistic and say, oh, you know, maybe we could Maybe we could do something. Valverde's just finished punching someone up. Maybe that's caused a distraction. Listen, for me,
Mate.
I have no hope, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not.
That's what I'm. That's why I'm saying. Like, that's what I've been saying, that Chelsea aren't in Europe now this season anymore, because we might as well just say it. Like, there's no point in pretending that you're still in the Champions League, because you're effectively out. Yes, you're going to be playing another
Lawless,
game.
You're just waiting for United to go out, and then you've won your little bet thing that you had with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time we're going to be in last team. I remember you
last
saying.
team in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So, and Chelsea's fixtures, man, like to have Real Madrid, then Brighton, Real Madrid again, then Brentford, then Arsenal. Whew.
Cool. That's horrible.
Do you know what? Like, you're finishing bottom half of the table. That's why I said you don't even have to worry about, which is actually what you wanted, Matisse. Actually, Lampard's coming in. He's making sure that you don't get in that Conference League, because you've been sitting there going, I don't want to be in it. Well, don't complain. You can't complain, because he's making sure.
No, you don't.
Maybe they're doing it on purpose, so UEFA, don't get involved with.
If I was Chelsea, I wouldn't want Europa League. If it ain't the Champions League, just stay out of it all. Just go one game a week. Spend a load of money again, because you still need loads of players, in my opinion.
I don't want to see loads of players. I'm actually sick of transfer news. We're signing another kid from Palace now. Some 650k. We signed some Venezuelan 15-year-old for 20 million. I can't. I don't even care. I don't
know who your manager's gonna be.
Exactly. I don't even care until I know who the manager is.
This Boehly is mad.
So
it's mental.
I really hope he's learning from his mistakes. He's made a lot of errors. And I always accepted that he was going to make some errors. I didn't know it was going to be this magnitude, to have us in our worst position since 1996. But hey,
do you know what we need? Do you know what needs to happen? What I want to see happen, right? I want an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer moment. I want Chelsea to
no, it's not going to happen. No.
I want
Chelsea
to go on a run, get seventh.
No.
And then put the contract on the table, get him right whatever number he wants.
Let me say this to you right now, because I know people are going to ask me, and I said it earlier. Even if he miraculously, emphatically won the Champions League, I still wouldn't want him here next season.
Wow, so ungrateful, man.
Yeah. No, he's not. He's right. He's right. It would be awful keeping him.
Shut Potts.
It would be awful keeping him.
No. You said, how can you say, if you win that Conference League, that how can you ask for Moyes to be sacked?
Because you can't compare Moyes to West Ham to Lampard.
You can't compare the Champions League to the Conference League.
No, you can't compare what Lampard can do at Chelsea to what Moyes has already done.
Come on, Champions League, man. Champions League.
Nah. Di Matteo won it. Would you want to keep him? Would you want him at West Ham?
What,
you don't keep someone based on 5
just
games.
Because exactly.
That's what it is.
Chelsea would have got moved. Do you know what? Who's your game in hand, by the way, Lawless? Is it Man City?
Yes.
Man, I was going to say, because if you won your game in hand, you're only 6 points off of Chelsea, which is mad. You're not going to win your game in hand.
If we finished above Chelsea, right, you might as well give me your channel, Matisse. You might as well just sign this all up.
Do you know what really hurts me?
That would be unreal.
Obviously, now I didn't really lay into Lampard really for the defeat against Wolves. He changed formation. Probably was not the best decision to go and change from the back three, because that's what we've been playing, and that's what helps us create chances. That's what helps us, stay looking like some sort of football club, some sort of football team. But he went back to the 4-3-3, and honestly, it was horrendous. Every single facet of the game, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we were horrendous all across the pitch. We didn't create enough chances. We didn't get Sterling barely had any touches. There was no cohesion, no chemistry. Couldn't do shit. Couldn't keep the ball. It was like hot potato. It was just genuinely awful. I didn't even analyze it. But he'd only worked with the players for a day or two. So I said, you know what? It is what it is. Do you know what really hurts? Somebody told me that he's got his UEFA A license, right? So it goes UEFA Pro license, then UEFA A license, then UEFA B. He's on UEFA A. Gerrard's on UEFA Pro. Like, he hasn't even got the top UEFA license. And this is unfortunately reality when it comes to, emotions and hiring people based on history and what they've done for you and whatnot. Now, I'm not here to slag off the whole interim situation, because like I said, we're already in the mud, and he's only interim to help us hopefully get time on the clock to go and interview the Enriques and the Nagelsmanns. But what I said after the Wolves game is Enrique and Nagelsmann should be interviewing Todd Boehly and interviewing Egbali, because you guys are running the club in such a volatile way, right? Where it's just so crazy right now. They're the ones that need the assurances from you. They're the ones that need the guarantees from you that you are going to calm down and you are going to do what you say you're going to do, and you're going to stick to some sort of ethos and some sort of strategy. Don't interview them. They've been at Bayern Munich and Barcelona and Spain and RB Leipzig. They've won games and won trophies. You've won nothing in this sport. It's time for you to humble yourselves. I want a new manager appointed for the summer as soon as possible. I would prefer it to be Enrique slightly now, because I think he's a lot more stubborn in his principles. And that means we're going to actually have a clear way of playing, a clear identity that he's not going to flip-flop on, and he's not going to get disrespected in the change room. I feel like Nagelsmann, it could go either way. And he's a lot more, he doesn't really stick to one way in terms of system. He does go between a few things and here and there. And I just don't want to play that game right now. I've had enough of it with Potter, changing formation every single match. And 1 minute it's 3, then it's 4, then it's all over the shop. So I would prefer, I'm slightly leaning towards Enrique, but I'm at a point, you need to get someone in ASAP before they start to look at the Premier League table, start to look at the squad, start to remember Lukaku's coming. This job, I don't know, maybe it won't be desirable very soon if you don't fix up. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, no, I mean, you're gonna, bottom half.
I can't believe that he doesn't have a UEFA Pros license. It just shows, in terms of management, he really has been spoon-fed into some of these roles. And I always say, like, obviously for the first season in the Premier League for Chelsea, he actually did a really good job. Got us fourth with the young players, etc. But you just know so many other managers have to work incredibly hard to get a little sniff of an opportunity in the capacity that he's got. This is the third Premier League job now. It's insane. It's really insane.
Would this be the first time that Chelsea have finished as the lowest West London club? Obviously not counting QPR, obviously they're West London, but like you've been below Brentford, below Fulham, your local rivals are going to finish above you. Like, this must be the first time in history.
Well, I don't know about that. I just know that we've never, since 96, when it's been 38 games, we've never finished 11th with less than 50 points. We finished 11th in 96 with 50 points. We're not going to hit 50 points this season, I don't think. So This will be our lowest ever.
3 wins and a draw. 3 wins and a draw.
With how many games to go? 8?
Yep. 8 games.
Nah. I don't. Nah, we're not getting that. And the reason why I say we're not getting that is because, like I said, the teams that we're playing, we just lost to Wolves, right? We just drew with Everton. We failed to beat you guys in your worst form of yourselves in ages, right? The worst West Ham we've seen. We couldn't beat Liverpool at home. A rested, rotated Liverpool. We still have to play Brighton. We have to play Brentford. We have to play United. We have to play Newcastle. We have to play City. We have to play Arsenal. So that's 4. That's 6. 6 of the last 8 games. Is it 8 games that we've got? Yeah.
Yep.
Shit. 6 of the last 8 games are against teams above us.
You know what the thing is as well, right? Bournemouth.
The only teams below us are Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth. They'll be in relegation scraps. And
those teams, not from Forest and Bournemouth, will be fighting for their lives.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no guarantee we even beat them.
Yeah, you'll have nothing to play for at that point. They'll have everything to play for.
6 of our last 8 games are against teams above us. Do you know how mad that is?
Boy, it's crazy. When I look at it, like how low. I mean, you could finish below Palace. You could drop to 12th. Maybe if Wolves do find a bit of form, you could finish 13th. Jeez, I don't think, as much as I'd love it, I can't see us finishing above Chelsea as much.
You have a game in hand. You're 9 points behind us. If you win your game in hand, you'll be 6 points. You could actually.
Yeah, no, that's against Man City, unfortunately. That game.
Okay,
so that's we have no hand. The hand has been.
There is no hand. You've got one hand. You've got one hand.
Yeah, pretty much.
It also seems to come towards a close that, I mean, Felix as well. It seems that Felix is going to be a permanent. I don't know what you guys have made of Felix since he's joined. Is he overrated to you, Lawless, or has he got something to him? He's one of those players that is very like splits the fan base down the middle. It seems right now.
The thing is, and I'm the same way I've been with West Ham. I would think it would be too harsh to fully judge these players with the way that they've been brought in. A lot of them, mid-season in a poor season, all at once. Same as Mudryk. Like everyone's clowning Mudryk, and that's football. It's banter, all of that sort of thing. But what they're coming into, I can't write off. He's obviously shown the qualities there with Felix. Like you've seen it. You've seen the quality that's there. But it's just not an optimal time for him to have come in, an optimal situation for him to come into. So if a quality manager comes in, sorts out this team, clears out the deadwood, decides the players that he wants to keep, adds a few other key ones, I think it's important to keep a couple of the best experienced players at Chelsea. So there's a bit of crossover there. Has a pre-season with them, full pre-season. Then yeah, João Felix I think could be a great part of that. But at the moment, the whole squad, it's a mess, and I can't even blame Lampard too much for whatever happens, because any manager coming into this situation, it makes my head hurt just looking at that squad and just the way it's been brought in. So yeah, I think he can offer something, but like I said, I wouldn't. Everyone that's writing players off, even Mudryk, is as bad as he's looking. I'd wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, ideally for me, I would always say I'm going to judge them at the end of the loan. I agree with you that the environment and the circumstances are not really built for anybody to succeed. It's a situation now where everything's disjointed. The manager's changed. There's too many players in the squad. It's just a mess. So I don't want to judge anyone, not Mudryk, not Madueke, not really anyone. If anyone is thriving in this cesspool of shit, right?
That's why Enzo's done so well.
Yeah, because even Badiashile got off to a great start.
Yeah,
shout out to those guys. Anybody who's coming in new and actually thriving in this. Remember, it's already hard enough to come into a new league mid-season. You're settling into a new country, new environment, maybe even a new language, and then you come to the club and there's no stability. Everything's a mess. Management changing, formation system changing, too many people in the dressing room can't even get changed in the same dressing room. Some people having to get changed outside. There's a queue for the gym. Can't even use the dumbbells when you want. It's not easy. So, anybody who's thriving in this environment, fair play to you, because I'm not expecting you to. And I think the best thing for João is, first of all, get a new manager. I don't want to see anybody new signed up until a new manager's appointed. When the new manager's appointed, if he wants him, then get in, maybe even try and get him on another loan for a season and see if it works out. If it doesn't work out, then you don't buy him. If it does, then you buy him. And, if the new manager doesn't want him, then you don't get him. But yeah, man, it's crazy, Potts, bro. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised more people aren't laughing at us, to be honest. I feel like I'm getting away with it a little bit.
No, we're all laughed out.
We've
already laughed. It's already laughed.
For all of the pain
now it's just sad.
For all of the pain that my club have caused other clubs in the last 20 years, whether it's, Hazard bending one in against Tottenham to finish off their title run, Arsenal, every single cup final, Didier Drogba dunking on their head, West Ham, Lampard retaking penalties and slapping you lot up as well. And the list goes on. I'm surprised that I'm not getting more heat. I feel like I'm getting away with it.
I just bring up bad memories now. That's gonna that makes us wanna.
I'm not trying to encourage. I'm just trying to.
I'll tell you why. Right. Lewis, it's the same with Lewis. Like you and Lewis, very similar in the way. It's just like you can't even roast me because I'm about as fed up as I can be. Like, if there was actually any Chelsea fans still loving what's happening, like, look at this money we're spending, this guy don't care, we're going back to the top of it, I'll be laughing in their faces. But I think every Chelsea fan surely must have concerns because the future is just up in the air. And as for João Felix, I actually think he's a good player. I don't think it works for him in Spain. And I think he was overhyped when he came to Spain, saying he's going to be one of the best players in the world. A little bit like Renato Sanchez. Remember when he was going to be like the next best thing? It's never happened. Yeah. Similarly to him, like good player, not going to be a world-class player. But I think when you look at the energy he's brought to Chelsea, he's probably one of the only players that does look like he's trying to make something happen in that side. And everybody else around him is struggling. So for me, I think you need to look at who's coming in and then you judge it from next season, because some of the players, in my opinion, just need to just either get out the club or become squad players very, very quickly because they ain't good enough for the first team, man. And I'm looking at players like Kai Havertz in particular. I don't get this guy, man. So, but there's a few like him. You got to look at what's happening with Mason Mount. You got to look at if we're going to keep hold of players like the Cesar Azpilicuetas of this world. There's a lot to do still at Chelsea, man. There really is.
loads to do. And I guess quickly, West Ham. I don't really want to over egg you because I'm sure you're going to be very consistent with how angry you are with Moyes and just the general consensus of the fact that you were beaten up in the last fixture before Fulham. So you're just trying to get to the end of the season, right? Yeah. Stay up, and then because it sounded like he was going to get sacked if he lost this game, and then of course he won.
Yeah.
and then now you short term happiness, long term pain for you again.
I mean, we've done you a favor. We beat your local rivals and given you a chance at a top 10 finish. So you're welcome. So it was a shit game, shit performance. Thank God Mitrovic was banned because they could not hit a barn door at all. They were, and we just played crap. But the most important thing is the win. It's a huge 3 points, like huge. It brings us to 30. It is a massive step forward in our survival chances, and that's a place I didn't think we was gonna win. I predicted a draw, but we shithoused an own goal, shithoused the win, and there are people that are these accounts, man, tweeting these fucking Moyes smiling pictures and then going, why is everyone so upset? Like, Moyes, I don't care what he does. It's like you, like Matisse, but like it's different. If Moyes won the Champions League, fine, listen, build him a statue, all of that shit. But I don't care what Moyes can win every single game to the end of the season. He can win that Conference League. He still has to go. Nothing's going to change that. And people that act like, oh, how could you what we won? How can you still be Moyes out? Because there was Moyes out banners. Like fans had Moyes out banners. And, it was a big thing. Oh, how can they bring Moyes? Because it's consistency. We want the prick out. We want him out. So what are we going to do? We're not going to change. The result don't matter.
Did you celebrate the goal?
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of just shocked. I was happy it scored, but it was just the way it happened. I mean, it was a fluke of a goal, but Bowen did well to make it happen. But it was just crap performance. But we're past performances now. We just need to stay up. I don't understand why fans were upset that Moyes didn't come over and clap the fans. It's like, I don't care what he does. I don't care if he comes over and claps the fans, take his shit on the pitch, whatever. As long as he's leaving at the end of the season, he can do whatever he wants. And of course, like if you've got a Moyes out banner and you're singing anti-Moyes songs,
he's not going to exactly come and clap, is he?
No. Keep your head down.
Can't have your cake and eat it. Do you know what I mean?
No. But that's it. Like the guy's coming out, he's criticized fans in his little post-match interviews he does. I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear from him.
I just think it's funny the amount of confidence Lawless has that this guy's going to be leaving.
I'm telling you,
he's not going anywhere, my friend. The board won him there. He's proved that he can steer you away from relegation. You're going to win that cup by the sounds of it, from what I'm hearing from you every single week. You've just beaten Fulham after an individual performance that was terrible against Newcastle that had nothing to do with David Moyes. Shocking performances from Aguerd, Fabianski, Paqueta gone missing yet again. Shock. And then,
Paqueta was injured against Fulham.
You've steered yourself away. He's got them awful players and he's managed to steer you out.
Oh, shut up, man. £200 million spent. We're only it's only next to Chelsea for how bad we are versus money spent. Horrendous.
He's just start to accept it now. David Moyes is staying. Just start to tell, because otherwise, I care for you. I care for you and your mental health. And I don't know what's going to happen when you realize he's going to stay here. Just start to accept now that he is staying. The board want him. They would have sacked him by now. If he wins that Conference League, he's definitely staying because you cannot sack him when he's won that, as you pointed out earlier. So listen, just accept it. You're not going down. Everybody on this panel has never said you're going down. It's my show where people think you are. Me, Matisse, and Tobes think you're staying up. Accept you're going to. Accept Moyes is here to stay. He's going to save you from relegation yet again because he's got experience of that. He's the right man for the job. Happy days, West Ham. Move forward.
Maybe I'll put a little bet on. Maybe Tobes is the bet. I'd bet that he's not going to be our manager next season, regardless, because you can't be in a situation where you've got one game. Your job is on the line on one game. If you win this game, if you lose this game, you're sacked, and then you don't lose it. And then it happens again, and it happens again. The reason he is still the manager is because the board don't know who to bring in at this time. in this. They're just scared of relegation. So the best action is no action in their mind. So when it comes to the summer now, the relationship with the fans is done. It's dead. There's no coming back from that. Like, there's no relationship now. So when it comes to the summer, I mean, Sullivan might not even be our owner. There's no coming back. He's not gonna be managing us next season. If he is, geez,
what are you gonna do? Your fan base can't unite. What are you gonna do about it?
You can't have a protest outside your stadiums. Too much space.
Listen, but
You know in the Simpsons. You know in the Simpsons when they're walking around with pitchforks, but with you lot, you're just gonna see like loads of like space in between you, like grass and benches and this lovely little island around the stadium. You know,
I'm gonna be organizing protests. I'm gonna be the front with my pitchfork. I don't care. And there's gonna be people going, "Oh, how can you protest at the start of the season? Let's see what happens." No, I don't want to watch this shit football anymore from this miserable, just awful excuse of a manager.
Do you know what's so ironically funny before we wrap up? Roy Hodgson comes in and slaps up Leeds 5-1 in some entertaining Eze display. And he's like on his last, like,
he's like 90.
Yeah. But Moyes still can't give you satisfaction with all of your attacking talents of Cornet and Paqueta and Scamacca and
hey, Jorginho, mate. Let's get him in. Like he knows how to play.
Who would you take him at a Moyes?
Do you know what? If you said Moyes or Hodgson, like that's your choice, Moyes or Hodgson. You don't get anything else. I'm taking Hodgson. I'm taking.
You hate him. You absolutely hate Moyes.
What's the situation with Rodgers or Potter? Because I saw you having a debate on your channel.
Yes. Yeah. Because the board like the idea of Rodgers, but they feel
they don't want to pay him.
They're in favor of Rodgers, not in favor of Potter, because they feel like Potter's success was largely down to Brighton's infrastructure, which is hilarious because it makes me realize that, well, why don't we actually try and replicate Brighton's infrastructure? Because our infrastructure is shit. But I agree. I would take Rodgers over Potter every day of the week. Rodgers I think is class. Look at we sit there and we laud Moyes for getting 6th, 7th, and a semi-final. Well, Rodgers got 5th, 2 semi-finals, and an FA Cup. And people act like it's crazy.
No, Rodgers did a really good job. I mean, the last year or two was a struggle.
Good.
But yeah, he's a good manager.
Yeah,
I think he'd do well at West Ham.
He would be a very good appointment for you guys. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, honestly, I would not be getting my pitchforks out of that one. I'd go, yeah, let's do it. Let's give him some backing. We've got quality players there. He didn't really have the money this season. With that, it was at a time where that team need massive, just refreshing and upgrading. They still got Vardy for crying out loud, and they've got Maddison, who was injured and who's probably going to leave at the end of the season. His eyes out the door. Tielemans, all the Tielemans saga going on. So it's been a shambles. So I can't look at that and judge him wholeheartedly on that. I think he could come in, we'd play some good football. We've got good players there, and I think it'd do well for us. Then, otherwise I'd take a gamble. I'd try my hardest to get Kompany. I'd love to see Vincent Kompany managing my club.
He just got promoted. I don't think you'd leave.
It's Burnley, though, isn't it?
I know, but they just got promoted. Like, you'd want to at least take a little.
I think you'll give it one more year with Burnley.
Yeah,
you play on a high. That's what I say. Like, I've got you promoted. You're welcome. See you later, and walk off into the sunset.
Walk off into the sunset. That is West Ham.
Yes. Yeah,
that's one hell of a fucking sunset, isn't
it? That's it. You know what I mean? And look, and he don't even have to really change his wardrobe. He's swapping claret and blue for claret and blue. Do you know what I mean?
I actually really like what he's done with Burnley. I actually think
has he not got them promoted in record time? It feels way too early for someone in the Championship to be like.
And all of their players went: Pope, Tarkowski, Dwight McNeil, Chris Wood. all their players went, and now all of a sudden he's come in and from one of the most boring teams has got them playing some unbelievably attacking football that has just absolutely smashed the Championship. A very hard league, by the way. I'm a big fan of what he's done, man. I'm a big fan. Another bloody Pep Guardiola
regen.
Someone, what do you call it? Apprentice or whatever they call it. Yeah. Honestly, man, no, serious, no jokes. He's done very well, very, very well.
Him or Rodgers for me. If we can't obviously get Poch, that's probably out of the window.
Would you take Michael Carrick? Would you? Yeah, let's stop the foolishness. Would you take?
Oh, he loved this guy, man.
Would you take Michael Carrick from Middlesbrough? He used to play for you.
He would be like third, fourth choice. He'd be there.
You wouldn't mind him. I mean,
obviously, look, he came for our academy. He's got
Middlesbrough in fourth. I know they just they're 0-0 currently. Lost their last 2 games, but from where they've come from, it's ridiculous what he's done.
It's that mixture for me between proven manager or young project manager.
Let me check if he's got his license.
Yep, he's got that. Yeah, we'll still think, but apparently Rams have been lost their last 2 games, so you know what I mean. So yeah, if we're going safe,
he's got his UEFA A license.
So he's only just.
Oh no, he's got his UEFA Pro. He's got his UEFA Pro.
Wow,
bro, Lampard, get to fucking studying, bro. Jesus Christ,
what is he doing? Yeah, stop taking these jobs,
bro. Everybody else has got their UEFA Pro license, but Lampard, what's going on?
Will Still is like 30 years old and he's got his pro license.
Jesus Christ, man,
that's embarrassing. See, that's why it took him longer. He wanted the big boy license.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, like I said, if we're going safe, give me Rodgers. If we're going young project, give me company. Either I'm happy. Other than that, who else is out there? Like Mancini, if we could steer him away from, I've been saying Mancini for the longest time. Just missed out on Tuchel, sadly, to Bayern Munich. You know, his timings didn't work out.
It's like you missed out on Kostic.
Yeah, these timings happen. It's sometimes
Zielinski as well. He seems to be doing all right. He stayed put.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm gonna do my UEFA licenses. I think one day.
Go on,
just to have them. You know, imagine being a football content creator and saying that you got UEFA Pro license.
Yeah,
subscribers would shoot up through the floorboards.
And then I'll put in a word with James Corden. He's a West Ham fan. I'll get him to whisper in Boehly's ear and get him the Chelsea job. You know what I mean?
Fuck you.
I mean.
I was just going to say, let's end it there.
What a way to end it would have been, isn't
it? Don't worry, I'll put a word in for you.
Brilliant.
I just want to hear Chelsea fans say Matisse out. It'd have a beautiful ring to it.
Well, Lawless, let them know where to find you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, West Ham Fan TV, of course. There you can find me on Twitter. This Thursday, we got the Ghent game. I'm hoping to do a watch along. It's going to be an early one. So I was hoping to go, but we only had an allocation of 1,000 tickets because hooliganism or something. So yeah, come and see that. That should be interesting. We should win that and go through to the semis. So come and check that out. And then on the week, we got Arsenal. There's going to be a lot of Arsenal build up. I'm not looking forward to this game, but just maybe something could happen. My God, could you imagine if we have a say in this title race?
You are going to have a say in it because you've got Arsenal and City to play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're actually going to speak or you're just going to be
I tell you what, if we beat Arsenal, and lose to City, I will never say another bad word about Moyes. I still want him out. I'm not going to say
idiot. You are
deluded. Why?
You are absolutely deluded.
Ceasefire. Why?
I'm not even going to comment on that, Matisse.
I'm not going to change my opinion. I'm just going to ceasefire. I'm not gonna go at him anymore. My campaign of hatred is over.
No, I'm done. I can't even end the stream, Matisse. I'm not even
know where to find you.
To that. My words, I cannot believe you just said that, man, to end this. Right. At Dan Arsenal 87 on Insta and Twitter, all socials. and Football's 12th Man podcast. If you come over, I'm literally about 40 something away from 8K people. So I would appreciate the love. If you can come over, you'll see myself, Lawless, Tobes, and all the other fans, literally of every Premier League club now. We've got one influencer from each Premier League team that we do loads of shows and debates for. So if you like this show, then come over. We would welcome you and appreciate the love, people. Thanks, Matisse.
Brilliant, man. Guys, make sure you go subscribe, man. Get the boys to their milestones. It's been a great show. Starting to get used to not having Tobes here, so you better come back quick because chemistry's building. You know what I mean?
Hopefully his bellyache will get better, whatever it is.
Fuad literally just messaged me. He was like, shit, I just seen this. As we're just wrapping up the show, but it's a shame. It is what it is. Guys, make sure you subscribe, smash up the likes, and we will see you next week. Hopefully Tobes will be back. He is looking to get back into the content creating now of Tottenham. I think he's back after a couple.
He's watching them again now.
Yeah, I think he's watching them again now. He's started to realize that he's doesn't go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? As they say. So until next time, in a bit, people. Peace.